I clearly remember when I was just 8 years old. My parents had signed me up for a volleyball club. Now, as being an 8-year-old who has never played a sport in her life, I was pretty excited to try this new thing called volleyball. So, I was off. My parents dropped me and I started warming up. And a girl who was around my age, around 8 years, came up to me with as much sass as this woman could muster and said this. Yeah, that's not how you do a lunge. Not how you do a lunge, she said. And that's when the Hulk in me snapped. Well, then how do you do a lunge, girl who I've never met in my life? And she had the audacity, the clearest audacity to say this. I don't know, figure it out. Figure it out? Figure it out? I will do my lunges my own way. Thank you very much, girl who I've never met. Later, I found out that her name was Sophia and that I was indeed doing my lunges wrong, but besides the point, now there were several occasions like that. Every single time I would try to play volleyball, she would sneer at me, laugh at me, pick on me. And as much as I wanted to do those same things back to her, I couldn't. Because the thing was, she was really, really good at volleyball. And that's the one thing I simply couldn't use against her. But that girl taught me a very important lesson. A few months went by. Then came a time where one person from the team would be declared captain. Our coach got his paper and clipboard and read the name of the captain out loud for the whole team to hear. It was not Sophia, it was me. But how did a girl who didn't even know how to do proper lunges become captain of her team? Well, it's all thanks to the compound effect. So, Judge and my esteemed volleyball teammates, let's start off by first practicing our proper lunges and seeing what exactly is this compound effect. Then, let's proudly stride onto that volleyball court to examine a few key components that make up this effect. And last but not least, let's serve that ball to see how we can make this compound effect benefit you. In a world filled with instant gratification, the compound effect is an unsung hero, quietly working its magic while everyone else is trying to find that mythical shortcut to success. The compound effect is the principle of obtaining huge rewards, like being captain of your team, from a series of small changes. As easy as this sounds, it's quite difficult to apply into effect. The phrase small changes completely ticks people off, and it did for me too. I mean, how can you possibly achieve your dream life if you only make small changes? I mean, isn't bigger better? Well, not in this case, and that's why it's called the compound effect, actually. Darren Hardy, the author of this compound effect book, says that if a person is only able to do 20 push-ups, let's say, and the next time when they're training they do 22, that's not two more push-ups, that's twice as many push-ups. I know, the math doesn't add up, but stay with me here. What I'm trying to say is that when you push yourself beyond your limit, the work doesn't add, it multiplies. And that's why it's so important for you to push yourself beyond your limit using this compound effect. With these small changes occurring every single day, you are well on your way to success. Now, yes, I do agree that working hard is a key component of this compound effect, but it's not the full story. Recall that the compound effect is a principle of obtaining huge rewards, yes, but with a series of small changes. Keyword being series. You have to do that thing that you want to achieve so badly every single day. The compound effect doesn't care how long you work or even how hard you work at times, unless it sees the execution every single day. And that was true with Sophia because every single day I would see her go to a nearby park and practice volleyball for another hour. I wanted to be like that. And you know, my 8-year-old self only had one motto: go big or go home. And this 8-year-old, she didn't go home. So I trained and I trained so hard. I went from 5 hours practice a week to 5 hours every day with my dad. And I remember I would come home with grass in my hair, bruises on my knees, and bloody forearms. But boy, did I get rewarded. Need I remind you that I was captain of my team when I was just 8 years old? That was me. Now, briefly switching topics, what pushes you to do something, to go that extra mile? What pushed me to get better at volleyball? And why do we always feel like quitting whenever we've just started? And don't even try to deny it. As soon as we're enthusiastic about learning something new, we realize that it's too hard and our dreams die out. To overcome this, you need to know about your why power. Why are you doing what you're doing? If your answer is to get that new Ford Mustang or that multi-million-dollar mansion, I guarantee you the compound effect will not help you. But if you're doing it for your family, your friends, your education, your well-being, that's what the compound effect likes to hear. So let's take a look at a quick example of how powerful this compound effect should be towards your goal, whatever that might be. Imagine I asked you to walk a wooden plank on the ground. You would do it, right? Because, well, there's nothing at risk. Now let's say I put that same exact plank in between two skyscrapers. Would you walk on it now? Chances are probably not, and I'm right there with you. Why? Because, well, there would be too much to lose, one of them including your life. But let's switch up the scenario a little bit. Let's say on the other end of that skyscraper, a massive fire broke out. And in that fire, you see two huddling objects. And you come to realize they're your parents. Now, without a doubt, I can guarantee you, you would run across that wooden plank, not even thinking about the 100-foot drop. And that's how powerful your why power should be. You should be so fueled by this why power that a major setback is simply a minor inconvenience. So why am I even talking about this? I mean, yes, I agree. It's not really a big issue like global warming, climate change, or even COVID-19, but it does come down to an individual level. What I'm saying is that a person may be this close, and I mean this close to finding the cure for cancer, but don't know they're that close. Persistence comes into play here. A person may be studying for the SATs 20 minutes a day, every day, but not very efficiently. Both efficiency and hard work come into play here. The point I'm trying to make is that no matter if you want to change the world or simply change yourself, it all starts with the compound effect. The compound effect can work for anyone. It worked for me when I made my middle school and high school volleyball team. Take that, Sophia. It worked for my grandma who was fighting leukemia but stayed persistent with her medication. And it can work for you. So let's take a look at a 3-step process on how we can introduce the compound effect for the better in your life. Starting with step number 1. Start now. Start now. Now would be a really good time. Don't wait for anything or anyone. If you think the right time to start that thing is gonna come, it won't. So you might as well just start now. Leading us to step number 2, make a schedule. Notice how I said a schedule, not a plan? A plan is simply like a to-do list of all the things you need to complete by the end of the day. Now, many of you here may be asking, well, what's wrong with a plan? And let me answer that in one word: everything. It doesn't highlight your start time, your end time, and how long you will do that task for. A schedule, on the other hand, highlights the exact time frame when you're supposed to complete that specific task. So now your focus should be a schedule. And step number 3, keep doing what you're doing every single day. The compound effect is either working for you or against you. There is no in between. So stay consistent. I know I'm glad I let the compound effect take its course in my life. When I went back to that volleyball club after a few months, I realized I'd become a totally different person. I learned discipline, patience, persistence, and of course, a little bit of that competitive edge. So the next time I see Sophia spiking that volleyball at me, I'll dial up my good old friend, the compound effect, and tell her that we easily received that pass. And I hope that you will too.